Welcome to the Shimmy Daddy streaming experience. I'm your host, as per usual, Shimmy Daddy. In case it's the first time you're watching the stream, the VOD, or the video on YouTube. I'm a monthly Hearthstone Wild Legend player who typically hits Legend first of the month, and after that I goof off. And when I goof off, I play your decks. But before that, I have held off doing a Dex to try before now, because I haven't been super sure on what I really want to showcase. I really don't have a ton of a handle on this meta. And a large part is because Holy Wrath Paladin so warped things in a way where so much of what we wanted to play wasn't playable. Libram Paladin seemed like a lost cause because unless you got a bubble on your face, you were just eating 100 on turn 4, turn 5. I tried to look into, playing some other, cute stuff. Spell Damage Druid was erased overnight. Everything was very polarized. And so banning the Ceaseless Expanse, while I think you could definitely debate whether or not it was a perfect solution, the Ceaseless Expanse is a really cool card. I'd love to play it in a couple other decks, including something like Hostage Mage, where if you're pairing Ceaseless Expanse with Romath, what you can essentially do is set up a situation where you can, as long as your Romath is casting a coin, you can infinitely cast Romaths. And you don't have to worry about like hand space or anything like that. It basically becomes an APM combo. I think that's cool, and I would like to try that. Except, they banned the Expanse. I think it was worth it just to take Holy Wrath out of the meta and allowing other things to breathe. With Holy Wrath out of the meta, what does the meta look like? Well, somebody told me that, the meta just looks like the old meta. But it kind of doesn't. Anything that was good at the old meta was good. But some other stuff has kind of stepped up and gotten better with some upgrades. One of the decks that I'm looking at that was at the top of the previous meta that got some upgrades is Spell Damage Druid. So what's kind of cool is here I took E.T.C's build, and he decided to cut Burn Down and Gift of Luminance in order to find room for Ethereal Oracle. We get a little bit of spell damage, so that is some extra drinks that can go face, but at the same time we're also making up for the burn down spell draw by having some spell draw. That's good. The Luminance was replaced by, we are trying out Arkonite Revelations. I've been less than impressed with this spell so far, but it's fine. I think it's a little bit overstated, the decreasing something like Sleep from the Stars by 1 mana. It does make it mana neutral if you cast it and then refresh 3 mana crystals twice. So basically it's Pot of Greed. It's Pot of Greed. You drew 2 for free. But it's fine. He did mention that we might want to second Seeds if we run into problems with too much Dark Glare, because Dark Glare is harder to burn down because of a new card that we'll cover later. So, this might make way for another Seed. I'm not sure. The really cool upgrade in this deck that I like a lot. We've been fighting over... These 2 slots in the E.T.C. are pretty much baked in, right? Platebreaker to take care of decks that out-armor us. Tight-Lipped Witness for Ice Block. Maxi likes Mechathune in here. I think that's mental. Kil'jaeden's really cool. Kil'jaeden is a really cool upgrade. It's a neutral win con. If all of your damage gets geisted, let's just go with Kil'jaeden and make giant goobers and slap them down anyway. So I think that's a really cool upgrade, and you do get to play a new card every once in a while when your normal game plan goes awry. I think that's neat. Another deck that has sprung up that I think is really good right now, making use of Ethereal Oracle, is 40-card Aggro Shadow Priest. This is becoming more and more common on ladder. In theory, the idea here is that the Aggro Shadow Priest 40 version into 30 version, we have enough redundancy and options now that the quality doesn't drop that far by switching to a 40 version. So here is our 40 version. Oh my, I gotta change the Shadow Bomber, chat. I gotta change the Shadow Bomber. This may troll some of you, and if I trigger you, let me know in the comments when I do this. There we go. Now it's perfect. The the 40 version sports, like, it's just better into aggro, and like that's just more cushion for it to go faced. We still have some cool cards like Mixologist. Gyre Worm's very good. Worth noting that we have cut Raise Dead. Raise Dead's bad because we're usually just getting a patches back anyway. And so in the 30 version, we were cutting Raise Dead for Gyre Worms anyway. This just makes that better. Ooh, what is this sucker? Oh, that's cool. I assumed it was the Swarmy one. I like that. So yeah, this is one of the best decks in the format right now. I know that for sure. Spell Damage Druid is probably one of the best decks in the format. I know that for sure. Hostage Mage is probably one of the best decks in the format. I know that for sure. Fatigue DH is still good. Big Shaman can still high roll people. There's a lot of lists that you can play that don't involve any new cards whatsoever that you are still going to find success with. I even think Barnes Druid is still probably pretty good right now. But I don't want to make it all about old decks that you can still play and give you codes for that, because you already have codes for those. I'd rather talk about decks that have seen some kind of upgrade, material upgrade. And this is a deck that definitely got a material upgrade. Healthstone is very, very good. Notice that we've actually cut Dark Pact for it in this version. I believe this is a build that Corbett was trying. I might not be his list, though. I think I got this from someplace else. I forgore where. I think the touch of the Nathrazim could also be Dark Pact. So another way you can think about it is you can get rid of the touches, and you could throw in the pacts instead. Because there are some times where Dark Pact is going to be better than Healthstone. But Healthstone, off a Glare pop-off term and basically putting yourself back at 30 without any risk, looks really good. The thing is this deck is not OP. This deck is not swarming the ladder, because the decks that it loses to, it still loses to. And the decks that it still beats soundly. It's just a little bit better at doing those things. So I'm not freaking out about Seedlock being the nuts, because I don't think it is the nuts. I think it's a fine deck. I think it's a strong deck. It's a good option if you're expecting a certain swath of the meta, but like, don't queue fast combo and don't queue aggro, because you can still get stuffed pretty soundly. All right, a deck I'm going to feature that I know is bad, but is also very high rolly and is very addicting, is this version of Quasar Rogue. Now, I've seen a lot of different builds out there. This is a build from day one. I think OTZ gave me. We could easily run Secret Passage in here still. I've seen a lot of people run Cold Light Oracles. Those look fucking bad. I would not run Cold Light Oracles. Basically, we're looking to play Quasar for very cheap. Some people are cutting counterfeit coins and preps. I wouldn't do that, because that allows me to play my Quasar early. I've played a Quasar as early as turn 2, and I have one as early as turn 3. When this goes off, it's really fucking cool, because you're basically playing out all of your spell damage minions, drawing all the cards in your deck, and getting the Garotes and the Ghostly Strikes. And instead of Fan of Knives, I've seen some people run Shiv, which I think is really freaking cute. You could also run a Vis, I guess, but I think Shiv is better because you're drawing past stuff. Where's Shiv? Shivy! Shivy boy! Where are you? This bad boy. This bad boy cooked up with some spell damage is actually kind of nasty in this list. So yeah, like, I think you could pack in some different ways of doing draws, right? But basically, Quasar makes your entire deck cost 0, except for the second Quasar, and you just go, 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 go. So this is really fun. I would suggest trying this. If you don't like this particular build, no big deal. Try a different one. But I would definitely give it a shot, because it's like one of like the new things that we can do in the format, and that's a little bit different than what my usual scouting report is. I think Libram Paladin is also super good, and I especially like the Libram Paladins that have Smite and Shanty as a finishing combo, because you've got a bunch of chargers and you can kind of like slap the buffs on the chargers. That shit looks awesome. So only 4 lists today, because there's a lot of uncertainty as far as where I'm at, where I don't feel like pushing out stuff that I don't know works, or I know is fun, or I know is good. So if you want to play the best stuff, Spell Damage Druid is probably one of the best decks. XL Aggro Shadow Priest is probably one of the best decks. Pirate DH is still good. Hostage Mage is still good. If you want to have a brain break and kind of like watch Netflix while you climb ladder, Big Shaman, like all that's fine. But stuff that kind of got an upgrade or that's cool. Seedlock got a little better. Pop-off turns got less risky. Quasar Rogue is just fun. So I hope those lists work for you. And if you enjoyed this content, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing on the YouTube video. And let me know if I missed anything. All right. Fatigue to each is good too. There. Now we can play viewer decks. Who knows? Maybe I queue into like a secret mage or something like that. And they have a strategy that cucks me. We'll find out. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to go infinite with Kil'jaeden so that we just keep drawing larger and larger gigantic men. You don't need Jades anymore. You just make an endless portal. Lamau. The nuts? We'll find out. Final Frenzy HS, thank you for the follow. Nutty. Nutty rats. One of the best I've ever seen. I think I missed Mistah Vistah. Do you also have a strong hatred for the Dallas Cowboys, or are you a Steelers fan like me? I do have a strong hatred for the Dallas Cowboys. However, I regret to inform you I'm a New York Giants fan. I regret to inform you, and honestly myself. Can I give you infinite money? No. Okay, look, yeah. They're very close. Look, it's okay. They're very close, right? They're like, you know, the Roonies, the Maras, the Roonies, the Maras. They're kind of there. Yes. Fuck yes. Oh, chat. Next turn's gonna be fucking awful. How are you coping with Barkley being a star with the Eagles? I'm coping just fine because his knee's going to explode anyway. So, like, I love him as a player, but not only do I not follow sports as closely as I used to, also his knee is going to explode. And I don't say that like wishing it's going to explode. I don't wish it that it's going to explode. I hope he has a long and decorated career, but my head is telling me his knee is going to explode.